Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, simply welcome. So my name is Angel, aka the Angelic Muse. I am an intuitive tarot reader as well as a certified Reiki practitioner. And as you can see from the title, I am here with a general reading for the collective based on the week ahead, which you can expect, what to look out for, things of that nature. I also have down below, I'll have all the decks and things that I'm using. I won't necessarily have links. I mean, I haven't really been doing that lately anyway. I've just been listening. But I will just say now, I got these from Five Below. So there's not going to be any link for it. You might be able to check the website and see if they're on there. But this deck here, this is the tarot deck I'll be using. It is the Kawaii tarot cards. If you ever want to go to Five Below and look for them. And then I'll be using these scripture cards as well. There's like a scripture oracle deck that I didn't even know they had these. My mama got these for me. I was like, oh my God, mama, what? Anyway, my mama got them for me. So I'm using them. Your girl is using them. I'm going to try at least. They don't look like the standard Rider Waite. Like, look at the Five of Swords. It's just literally 5 swords. And 7 of Cups is literally 7 cups. So we're going to see how this works out for us. I'm pretty sure it'll be fun and exciting. I'll be using that along with the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck as well as the Angels of Abundance Oracle cards. I know you can't see them because they're all scattered around. I made sure they were not in the camera because I just want to focus here. So without further ado, I am going to just tap in. I've already prayed and set the intention for, you know, what I do to do what I do for you guys. So yeah, let me just get into it, and we're going to just see what comes out for this week ahead for the collective. See what the energy. Got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. I'm wondering if I should, yeah. You got the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Collective energy for the week ahead. Uh-oh, I bent the card a little. Knight of Swords. Let me get 2 more. Let's see. Oh, they came out right on time. And then you got the Fool and the Star card. Aren't they cute? Like, look at that star's face. Don't you just want to eat it? It's so cute, right? Anyway. Maybe it's just me. Or like, look at this. Look at the little oranges at the top. They're so cute. All right, so let's see what's going on here to start. So you got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, followed by the 5 of Pentacles. So what I'm thinking is there's some sort of rerouting going on here for the collective. We're finding new ways to do the old things. Or like we're getting out of our routine, because what it looks like it's doing is that we're noticing like where the what needs to be tweaked, because with this 5 of Pentacles energy and the Knight of Swords next to each other, it looks like we're kind of analyzing. Maybe this has to do with our spending, or it could have to do with just where we're investing our time in, and where we're investing our energy in general. It looks like for the collective, we're trying to go about things. We're not doing the same thing and expecting different results this time around. And it's actually going to pay off in a way, in a big way, in a way bigger than we thought. Because see, with the Wheel of Fortune here being in reverse, it seems like, and it feels like for most of us, this is dealing with a recurring thing. It's not like it's something that was just sprung upon us and we're like, okay, we messed it up, or we felt like we messed it up maybe 1 or 2 times. This is something like that has kind of embedded itself into us. It's become a habit for us, and it's caused us to lose more than gain, in a sense, whatever area that is, whether it be financially, emotionally. You may be missing out on deeper relationships of some sort. You may be missing out on you might be lacking in the financial department. Maybe you're overspending. It could be a number of different things. The 5 of Pentacles in general just speaks of having a lack mentality, or maybe going through a rough patch of some sort. But the one thing I will say about this particular Five of Pentacles card is the yellow in it is, again, the yellow. I guess I gotta show you guys these because otherwise I'll just be talking. But the yellow coins here just give me like a refreshness or like a newness to it, as if like, because yellow in the tarot represents like intellect of some sort. So it's just, and with the Knight of Swords, it's just coming across as if we're going about it in a different way, whatever that it is. But again, like I said, the Fool and the Star card are to end it off, and they're upright as opposed to the Wheel of Fortune. And the Fool card here, it's literally just like a Joker hat. Oh, you can see that. I don't gotta pick it up, but it's literally like a Joker hat, and that just gives me the feeling of like playfulness. The Fool card in itself is all about just like going for it and not really thinking about the repercussions. You're just kind of like throwing yourselves out there. But this is giving me like a have fun with it type moment. Maybe not necessarily fun, but kind of easing up off whatever tension or just being so rigid about things. And that can cause a Five of Pentacles moment here, because you think the Five of Pentacles comes before, after the Four, and the Four is all about like feeling like closed off, like you gotta hoard and save. And then the Five of Pentacles is about kind of just not having responsibility in terms of it. But you can also be too rigid as well, be feeling too responsible for something, and it causing that lack mentality as well. So I'm saying this Fool card is just giving a lighter energy here. The Joker, and I'm thinking about like a deck of cards, playing cards, where the Joker can be substituted or used for pretty much any other card, like when playing, if you play with the Joker card. I'm thinking about how it can fit into literally any place. So maybe you're molding and adapting to whatever it is that you're going through. You're not really setting one way to go about that thing. And again, this could be in regards to literally anything. But I'm seeing the wheels turning in a different kind of way for you this time around for this week ahead. And it's also it's giving you the ability with the Star card. Star card, if you know how the Rider-Waite works, it's a woman. She's naked, which or like exposed in a sense, and pretty much vulnerable to whatever's going on around her. She's open and receptive to it, and she's also pouring into the earth and to the water element. So just being able to ground herself and honor her emotions in the same breath. I'm seeing here that whatever it is, whatever epiphany it is that you have, or whatever ideas come to your mind within this week or this weekend, whenever it is, because I want to probably post this during the weekend. So whatever ideas come to your mind, make sure you write them down, because they may just be that pivotal change that you need. If you're a forgetful person, if you're not one to apply right away, because again, you have three major arcana, one in the reverse, but two in the upright. And they also end off the reading. And then on the bottom of the deck, I didn't even notice, but you have the Seven of Cups, which again, that's all about like having a multitude of options and not really knowing which way to go. But I'm seeing that could be the current energy that we're in, which is leading to this kind of a stop when it comes in the Wheel of Fortune. And once things stop in the physical, and like you kind of feel like you're not going anywhere, or you're not really having much movement, or as much movement as you've had in the past, it can cause you to, get into your head about things, and then your outward appearance will show whatever it is that you're internalizing. So that's where this Five of Pentacles energy is coming in. But again, like I said, you have the Knight of Swords here. Knight of Swords is all about intellect, about the mind. And granted, the knight isn't as experienced as the queen or the king, but that's fine, because we're still learning here. And it just shows that, shoot, at least you're not a page. It's like, no, I'm just playing, but there's nothing wrong with the pages either. I'm just saying, in terms of this, it seems like you have a bit of experience with this thing. And so with that, whatever it is, like, okay, this will work, this won't work. At this point during this week, it seems like you're really sitting down with yourself or whoever or whatever it is that you're dealing with, and you're really getting down to it. But it's causing some major shifts and some major results within the dynamic or whatever it is that you're going through. Now, I do just want to pull and see if anything else comes out. I pray this is making sense too, because I will say using these cards is it's definitely different. I'm not knocking it though. I kind of like it. It's just, I like it. And I will say, okay, so even with this, I didn't even notice it, but it's popping out. It's 3 cards here. This goes back to the honor and the emotions. You see one, I don't know if you could tell, but if you look closely, one's upset and one's really happy. And then the big one in the middle is yellow. That, again, going back to the intellect. And this is all dealing with the mind. The yellow with the 5 of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and then the Star. This is all about like balancing and finding like finding again what works and what doesn't. You're not really completely like, if something doesn't work for you, you're not really sitting in it, and if you do, it's not for long. You're balancing out. You're like, okay, it didn't work, fine, what's next? You're not really sitting in it. Just as much as if you get too comfortable in a situation, you're not really here for that either, because you're in your growing season. You're not like, for example, if you're, say you're overspending, say this has to do with financial stability of some sort, and you are used to just like splurging your money, but you're realizing like, okay, I'm used to living this way, but this way is holding me back in a sense. I'm comfortable here because I can do it. You're kind of taking the good, quote unquote, with the bad and making something neutral out of it, making something like worthwhile. Like you can grow and still be fulfilled in the same sense. Because everybody does, you gotta be real, everybody doesn't like growing. Some people are cool with being comfortable, and the difference between you and this week that you're coming into is that you're finding like, okay, it's cool to be comfortable, it is, but it's also nice to grow too and find comfort in those new spaces. So let's see if anything else needs to come out in terms of this week ahead for the collective. Is there anything else they need to know here in this moment? Okay, you have Temperance. Again, all about balance, all about alchemizing and making it work for you. Then you got the King of Swords. What I said, at least you're not the page, and then then the 6 of Swords comes out, which is right after 6 of Pentacles. I'm sorry, which is right after the 5 of Pentacles. So it's looking very, very good, and there's a lot of yellow. I know you guys can't see it, but there is a lot of yellow. And now I'm just thinking of the Sun card and the sun in general, where everything is just exposed, like it's out there for you to see. It's all out there on the table. You can't deny it. You can't say, okay, I didn't know about this thing. There's no surprises coming in. Like you're literally covering all bases this week in terms of this thing that was stopping you with that Wheel of Fortune moment in reverse. But the Temperance, like I said, and Temperance is all about making 2 things work for you that may at times seem unlikely, like the odds and the likelihood of a cup literally spilling over into another cup in that way. I mean, it'll be an overflow at this particular example, but still no cup is doing that. So I think you're beating the odds here, and you're doing things that are surprising even yourself in this time. Like it's not even, other people are surprised by you too, and the way that you're reacting to things differently. Maybe you're ignoring things. You're coming to terms with the fact that, like, listen, I can't change this environment, but I can change myself. Like I can change who I'm around. I can change what I entertain, type things. Like you're not really going for it in the same way, even if your surroundings look the same. And then again, with this King of Swords, you're the knight right now, like in the midst of coming up with the ideas, in the midst of the brainstorming, and in the midst of like figuring yourself out and what it is that you want. That's where you are now. However, in due time, with practice, with the more you elevate, the more you integrate those lessons from the past into your future or your present time, you'll eventually move into that King of Swords energy, which isn't like Knight of Swords may do something without thinking about it. They're very quick, very, but the King of Swords will sit back and is very analytical and is like, okay, I'm thinking with my mind, but at times I don't have to. There's times where I don't have to move, where I know things will just happen for me. I'm not trying so hard to do. I know at this point, once I set the tone for what it is that I need, what it is that I desire, what it is that I want in this life, I know that at a certain point in time that I won't have to um do so much. And that is what you're coming to terms with here. And it turns that 5 of Pentacles into the 6 here, which you're able to give back, where you're able to show others what you've learned, or you're able to set the proper example for yourself, for others. And there's an equal balance here. Like I said, going back to the Star card, if I'm with the 6 of Pentacles in the Rider Waite, there is a scale that the man is holding on to as he feeds as he's, there's 2 people on the bottom who may not know as much, or 2 people who may be in that 5 of Pentacles energy where they're lacking, and you're able to kind of have this trickle effect of some sort and give back to others, as I was saying. And then on the back of the deck here, we have the 8 of Cups. So yes, again, you're walking away from something and you're leaving like what you knew, like all of what you knew behind. For some of you, you'll be leaving like a whole new life, and it'll feel like you're starting a whole new life, all because you changed that one thing. That was like the shift that you needed within this week. And yeah, so that's just what I'm getting from the tarot. Let me see. Oh, let me pull some Angels of Abundance Oracle. So, let's see what the angels need to say to you in regards to your week ahead. Let's see. What does the collective need to know? Unlimited ideas. Unlimited ideas. And this says, your mind is one with God's infinite mind. Going back to that intellect. Therefore, you have complete access to unlimited ideas guaranteed to bring blessings. All you need to do is take divinely guided action to allow these ideas to come to fruition. And that goes back to what I was saying about this Wheel of Fortune moment and then the Knight of Swords. Maybe you're you're coming up with different ideas, different ways of thinking, different ways of spending, different ways of talking to people. This could be anything for anybody, but you're understanding that life doesn't have to go one way. Like you can you don't have to be so rigid. You don't have to be, not that you are a rigid person, but sometimes we can get into habits. I'm guilty of it at times too. We get into these habits where we feel like, okay, this is the only way this is going to work. This is the only way it'll work right. But that's not even the case. You have to be open to God's idea, to God's way, because we're, like I said before, we're co-creating with God. We are literally, sometimes you have to take, a lot of times, I'm not going to say sometimes because God's in control at the end of the day. You have to take a back seat. There will be times where you have to do the work and do things. But then, again, like I said, once you move into that King of Swords energy from the Knight to the King, you'll realize like, okay, I can take a back seat to this. I can sit back. I don't have to do so much. I don't have to try so hard. Clearing debts. Yes. So if this is in terms of, like I said, with financial matters for some of you with this 5 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles, that does have to do with tangible things and money. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. You can be in debt emotionally, like from over pouring into people. You can be in debt spiritually from giving your time and your energy to the wrong things and the wrong people. And again, financially, you can be in debt from overspending, from like doing too much or trying to keep up with the Joneses, or feeling like you have to do it on your own, like you don't want to ask for help, things of that nature. But it says your self-care involves removing the heavy burden of financial and emotional debts from your life. You already feel lighter and freer just by facing this topic and making a plan to clear present obligations and avoid future ones as well. So yes, going back, like I was saying, you to avoid future ones as well would be to, like, granted, you take on the habit, but also with this Six of Pentacles energy, you showing other people how to not do that thing that you did. Because a lot of times we'll think, okay, I'm like, say you mess up and you do something wrong, you think, oh damn, I failed at this, or I didn't do this right. But the thing is, that's literally a learning lesson from you. You have to go into it thinking, okay, I didn't fail. I may have done things in a way that didn't necessarily align with what it was that was for my highest good. But at the end of the day, there is no such thing as a failure. Mistakes, sure, but we are here to learn from those things, and we give ourselves grace. We learn from them and we move forward and we apply them to our lives, and then we're able to create that new habit of doing it the right way so that we can show others. So sometimes, we don't want to look at what it is that we're going through as a detriment to ourselves. We want to look at it as a catalyst, or like something to propel us forward. And I feel like within this week, that is what you're coming to terms with. The fact that, like, I can, debts are meant to be paid off. Like, debt is just a thing that happens. Like, it's not necessarily the best, most comfortable feeling, but there is growth in it, and there's a lot of change and possibilities in it. And then you finally have cooperation instead of competition. And for some reason, before I even read this, for some reason, I'm thinking about, and it's going to sound crazy to somebody, but like being kind of in competition with God. Not to say you're doing it in a malicious way, but in a way where it's like, again, it's a control thing. We have to be okay with cooperating, co-creating with God, as opposed to competing, like thinking that, okay, we can do the job better than him. At the end of the day, you can't. Like, you could try, but it's not, the saying coming to my mind is, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Like, come on, let's be real. Like, you can have all these plans in the world. You can have this whole thing set up. You can write it down 100 times if you want to. But if that's not the way it's supposed to go out for you, it's just not going to. You can try and try and try. But if it's not for your highest good, if it keeps you too stuck or too stagnant sometimes, no, God will move you out of that. Like, no, you deserve better. You're going to get better. Whether it feels comfortable in the moment or not, you'll thank me later. That's what I'm getting here. So it says, what's yours is yours and no one can take it from you. There's no need to compete, as there is an abundance for all. You have complete access to unlimited abundance for yourself and to share with others. With cooperative partnerships, you can accomplish anything. Exactly. So, and even for some of you, this may be this doing things a different way. Like I said, it could be involving other people, not feeling like you have to do it all alone. With this Five of Pentacles energy, it's very lacking. It's very cold. It's very alone. You kind of fending for yourself out there. Whereas with this, there could just be very well someone out there that, for some of you, this is a specific message. For some of you, you may be looking at them as, oh, they're trying to be better than me, or they are better than me. They have all this and that, and I need to get to there so I can be better, or whatever the case may be. And that's not how you want to go about it. We can always use those people as examples of not necessarily what we aspire to be at wholeheartedly, like as an entirety. We can definitely strive towards some of their goals, but it's not necessarily, we don't have to look at it from such a malicious or like attacking kind of way, if that makes sense. But that's only for some of you. I didn't really get big energy on that. It was more so about like just kind of competing with God and the way that the universe works and things of that nature. So now I'm going to pull the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and then I'm going to end it off with the scripture cards and see what we can get from that, just to end off the reading. Now, I will say I haven't completely gotten through the Bible. I'm in Songs of Solomon now. Well, actually, no, I just got done that yesterday. So I'm moving into the next chapter now. So I haven't gotten all the way through. So when it comes to these verses, I don't necessarily know them all, but for the ones that I do, we'll see. We will see how it goes. We're going to see what comes out. Oh, okay. Just dropped all the cards. Not all of them, but I dropped a decent amount. All right, so let's see. Let's see. Okay, you got stars in the sky, limited possibility. And that adds up to the number 6 is 51, represented by the number 6. 6 in tarot, think of solutions, think of new ways of doing things, think of fairness and things of that nature. But stars in the sky, limitless possibility. You have infinite possibility. And that goes back to the unlimited ideas. You got to remember you're working with God. God created literally every star in the sky. Just think of what it is that you're working with here. Like from the minor details that you see every day to the big grand things. Like these miracles, and miracles don't have to be this grand thing. Waking up is a simple miracle. Like because everybody doesn't get to do that. So in that we should just be grateful. And I think that you are honestly looking at the what's considered to be little things within this week ahead, and you are really growing to appreciate the finer, smaller details in life and noticing just how important they are and how they create the bigger things. Like it's not, it starts really small and then it grows really, really big, but it's this one simple change that you have to make or that you will make within this week that's going to really kind of open your eyes to seeing like, oh my gosh, like what was I doing this whole time? Maybe not necessarily that, but you are taking and even in the card, you may be spending a lot more time alone and not being distracted by outer influences outside of like nature and like the minor details of life. You're not really allowing other influences in this week that may have kept you distracted. You're kind of getting clear on what's important to you, the connection with God that you have, and how strong it's going to need to be in order for you to get into this next season in your life. Then you have Horseman represented by the number 30, and this one says Herald of Change. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a Sagittarius, but for some reason that Horseman sign, it gives me Sagittarius vibes. Sagittarius, and you know, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is the planet of like luck, expansion, and change. So again, I think that what's happening here is you're, like I said, you're looking at the minor things and just think of a horse and how like regal horses are. Like horses, they're huge dogs. Like think of them like that. And, I mean, they're not dogs naturally, obviously, but I'm just saying they're in the dog family. And just think of like the loyalty and the way you can train a horse and the way that. And I feel like what this is. And she's kind of riding on one. I think that what's happening here is the horse would be kind of like similar to your life or like the direction that you want it to go in and how you're training it, and you're like it's loyal to you. It's a, it's like a perfect fit. Like I don't know much about horses, but I do know that the connections like that they have with people are similar to like those of dogs. Like it's like a sense of companionship, and you, I mean, you don't want to mistreat any animal. I'm not advocating for that at all. I would never. I'd probably tear your ass up if I found out you was mistreating the animal. I don't play that. But I'm just saying you don't want to mistreat any animal. But like with horses in general, they're very like good at, what is the word I'm looking for? They're just great at like obeying, and they kind of work with you. They don't really, they're not hard, or they don't really go against people in the ways that like other animals may, like wild, weird type animals. I hope this is making sense. But the point I'm getting at here is that they're easy to train if you're likable and if you have that great relationship with them. And I think that what's happening here is you're learning to simply like your life and accept it for what it is so that you can maneuver and go about it and get it to move in the way that you want it to, while taking the back seat at times and allowing the horse or your life to just be what it naturally is, if that makes sense. Like you don't want to, you don't want to take too much control and take away the essence of the horse, but know that the horse will work with you if you are likable and like cooperative person. Like, you got to cooperate with the horse for the horse to cooperate with you, is what I'm getting at. So I don't know why it took me so long to get that out. I was trying to find the right words. It's like I knew it in my heart, and I was just trying to get my heart to say it. And yeah, so we got it. And it's also herald of change too. So that's like someone grand who comes in and changes, like I said, the trajectory of the, like, whatever it is, this wheel of fortune is going to go upright as opposed to being in reverse, and you're going to get things moving. Whatever this minor, or what may be considered small to other people, change that you make, it's going to literally blow up in a way that is going to affect all areas of your life, and it'll be great. And then you have Eyes of the Eagle rising above the fray, represented by the number 18. And again, that kind of connects to the stars in the sky. Eyes of the Eagle, they're very, like, eagles in general, they're kind of a bird on their own. And 18 goes into the number 9, which is the Hermit card. And this is all about like isolation, self-isolation, like I was saying with this card, and kind of getting away from the distractions. And when an eagle finds what it wants, it goes straight in for it. And like, there's literally like tunnel vision here. And I think that that is what's being taken on here. The essence of tunnel vision, and just gaining clarity or whatever the situation that you have on here. And then they even have a magnifying glass. So this could have everything to do it. Like I said, the minor, what could people consider minor details that you're actually looking at within this week, and you're saying, oh wow, that was the thing this whole time. You know, I feel like a lot of you are going to say that was the thing this whole time. And you'll realize how easy it is to change it. And you know, all you got to do is just literally do it. Take that first step, and it will be uncomfortable for some of you. It may be uncomfortable for a lot of you, because it's so comforting to be in this space. But just think of what you are missing out on by not being present, by not being or doing better or improving, and you know, maybe taking that time to yourself. The distractions that you have there, maybe I'll say this, and it could sound however it wants to sound. I'll say this: the devil, you know, whether you want to look at the devil as like an entity or a thing or whatever, I'll say this: the devil shows up in ways that are, for one, comforting to us and unfamiliar at times to us. And you'll know, like, the devil will keep you comfortable if they know that that's how they can keep you, like, to get you to just continue to move in those low vibrational ways. The devil will come. And I'm not just talking like addictions. I'm not talking codependency. I'm not talking like things like that. I'm talking about the bad habits, maybe the way that you jump to conclusions at times when it comes to the way someone may say something. I'm talking about you having impulsive spending, or feeling like you need tangible, like you have to go shopping for all the latest because it makes you feel better about yourself. I'm talking about entertaining relationships that you know were sent to simply teach you a lesson about yourself. And the reason I'm keeping this card here like this is because when I was shuffling, it jumped out. And I'm going to read it because I feel like it jumped out for a reason. If you noticed that, I was shuffling in it. But it could come in many different ways. The devil doesn't really have a face or look or anything like that. It's just, sometimes it literally is comfortability. And I know that being comfortable is the end goal for us in the end, but just think of how you're always internally evolving. You're always healing. You're always on this journey of like self-growth and like figuring things out. Imagine being like plateauing and just being like, while everybody else is, ascending, you're just like, imagine that, and looking around and seeing like, oh, that could be me, and then you're competing instead of cooperating, whether this be with someone else or something God's trying to tell you. So I think that what's happening here is you're doing the complete opposite of that. I don't even think you have to imagine doing this, because you've probably been doing it for so long. Like I said, with that Wheel of Fortune and the Five of Pentacles, a lot of you may have been in this repetitive cycle where it feels like you're getting nowhere. And now within this week ahead, it seems like things are coming to the surface. And you're like, again, with the yellow, all the yellow on this card, you're putting that, and applying it to the right places. And, you're considering all aspects of the situation. And then this is the scripture that came out for the first one. It says, "For the Lord your God, he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you." And that's Deuteronomy 24. For the Lord your God, he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. And that just goes back to what I was saying. Like, we have to know when the devil, like, when to take the back seat, because sometimes we can't fight the good fight because we're so used to just chilling, sitting back. And that's when we have to let God take the wheel and do his thing. Like, you can't just be like, okay, I'm going to figure this out on my own. Sometimes you literally just got to pray about it and keep it pushing. And I think that with the self-isolation and the growing of your connection with God, you'll surely see when it's time to do and when it's time to sit back and just pray about it, meditate, and sit within and just be still. Because sometimes that's all we have to do is just be still. And I think that a lot of you are like slowing down to do just that. And this is a psalm. It says, "My soul melteth for heaviness. Strengthen thou me according unto thy word." And that's Psalm 119:28. Oh, let me show y'all. I'm sorry. "My soul melteth for heaviness. Strengthen thou me according unto thy word." I'm telling y'all, the good book here. There's a lot of information in there. And I know that I say that a lot. Like, I talk about the Bible and how it has a lot of, and the tarot, and how they're tied into each other and things of that nature. I say it because it's true. And the Bible is simply a book of life and a way of truth. It's not like, I haven't even gotten to the New Testament yet. I'm still in the Old Testament. So we talking like, we talking about something else. I haven't gotten to the New Testament yet where Jesus pops in. But I'm still figuring it out, but I will say that there are a lot of truths in here, and it's a lot of stuff that applies to our life now, because you have to think it goes in cycles. So the stories within the Bible, I can guarantee you, if you read some of them stories, if you haven't ever, you read some of them stories, you'd be like, I had a girlfriend that went through that. I had a guy friend that went through that, or I went through that, like, to some extent. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can always be like, oh damn, I could use that for myself. And you take it and you apply it, and it just makes you better. But this could be with any way of life that you choose. Like, I mean, I know some people choose Hinduism, some people choose Buddhism. Those are like, I don't know too much about them. I don't really get into the whole religious thing. But I'm just gonna stick to what I know and talk about these scriptures here. And then this last one is Matthew 6:7, and it says, "But when ye pray, use not vain repetitions as the heathen do, for they think that they shall be heard for their much speaking." Yes, that is less talking, less saying, and more just being still. Because sometimes, here's the thing. I'll say this. Sometimes we'll pray and we think that God's not listening. And we'll pray for like peace over a situation. Like, we'll pray for peace over a situation. And the only reason I'm saying this is because it may apply to your current situation. Maybe because, like I said, it could be a cycle that a lot of you have been going through constantly over and over again. You're like, oh, when is it going to end? When is it going to end? Say, for example, you have a hard time asking for things, and you get put into a position where you have to ask for things. Maybe you lose your job, maybe you whatever, you lose your car or something, you got to ask for rides or something. You're like, oh my gosh, when is my car going to get fixed? When am I going to get this money? When am I going to get this job back? X, Y, and Z. And you had the whole point in you losing that car or losing that job was not to make you suffer or feel like, you know, you're being attacked, but maybe it's so that you can learn to ask for help. Maybe it's so that you can learn to be more receptive to receiving, you know, because a lot of times we feel like we can do things on our own. That's just one example. And but you praying for this, yet the answer's been given to you if you would just ask for help. You know, the job will come. There's a million jobs out here. The job will come and you'll be blessed in that sense. But you have to know how to balance. Again, going back to this star card, there's a happy and a sad. It's just honoring of all emotions here and not thinking, okay, as long as I'm comfortable, I have this job, I have this money, I'm set. Like, because if you had it all taken away, you still have to be rooted in something. You know what I mean? And I think that you're learning to be rooted and to be grounded and to know, like, it's okay to walk away from what no longer serves me. And yeah. So let me see what's on the back of the deck, because I'm going to read that one too. That's John 14:27. And it says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Yeah, so just know God's going to take care of it. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. So you're going to go into this. And like I said, did you get the full card? Yeah, and you got the full card. You are literally just saying, excuse my language. I'm not even going to say it because I just read all them scriptures. But you literally just said, F it. What's the worst that can happen? I feel like I've already been through the worst. And what else you got for me? That's just what I'm getting here from this energy for you guys this week ahead. And I pray and pray and pray that this made sense to you. I pray that it brings you some clarity, some peace, and some ease moving into your week ahead. And yeah, I just pray it resonates, and I pray it brings healing and comfort to you in whatever ways that it can, and some reassurance. If it does, please, please, please let me know down in the comments. You can like and subscribe if you like. If you want to book a personal session with me, you can do so. My link will be down below, www.theangelicmuse.com. And also, oh yeah, so I did add these spell work positions and all that to the website as well. If you'd be interested in me assisting you in that area, I can do so as well. But I think that is it. And I thank you all so much for being here. And I pray you enjoy the rest of your day or your night.